Hello, and thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. So, I've been trying to make this video for the longest time, I swear, but finally I'm able to. So, for those that don't know who Murad is actually this big YouTuber that makes a lot of content on Love Island. So Love Island is kind of a controversial show that came out in the United Kingdom. I mean, it has a lot of versions. There's the Australian one, the South African one, the American one. But the one we all know and love is the UK one. So when I started watching Love Island, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was hard to watch because so much of the content on Love Island was problematic. And there'd be so many times where you'd finish watching and you'd be left with more questions than answers. And there'd be times where you would see how certain islanders were being treated, and it would just feel so grossly unfair. Look, it has been noted that in Love Island there's been a history of mistreating black contestants. A lot of the black contestants that have gone on Love Island have not always had the best experience, and Murad was the one person that was a voice for those contestants, in essence. I mean, he spoke up against colorism. He spoke up against any type of discrimination. He really centered himself. He put himself up there as not as the authority of what is right and wrong, because I don't think anyone can call themselves the authority of right and wrong, but he certainly positioned himself in a very, very interesting way. And I think a lot of people were very disappointed to find out that he didn't actually uphold the values that he would, so freely talk about. So let's go back in time to the year 2019. So Murad was in Cape Town, and at this time I was a complete, subscriber. Like, I watched his content, I followed him on Instagram. I was like, I did what people do on the internet. And he wrote, I think he had a story, and I commented on the story. And I said on the story, I was like, oh, you're in Cape Town. If you ever need a tour guide. It was something along those lines. And to my surprise, he responded. He responds immediately, and he was like, yes, we definitely need to meet up. So I was not expecting for him to respond to me. I mean, how many times have you DM someone on Instagram or responded to someone's story and they've never responded back? So I was really taken aback when he came back so quick. And I was excited. I was really, really excited because he wanted to meet up and he wanted us to go to a pool party in Fresno. Instantaneously, I'm just like on cloud nine. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet this like super, super cool person. I'm gonna get to pick his mind. And I think the YouTube community or the YouTube family, like a lot of us, we tend to make the mistake where we sort of group everyone that is not white as POC, people of color. And we believe that, anyone who's brown or anyone who has even just a little bit of a similar experience to you, understands you, cares about your issues, and means what they say. But often that's not the case. I mean, I feel like Murad had been made to be some sort of like social justice warrior. He positioned himself as that, and I think we also gave that to him. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I really used to watch his content, and you would read a lot of the comments, and people were just for this guy. They were like, yes, finally someone on YouTube is talking about this. Yes, finally someone on YouTube understands this. And for a lot of us, and I can speak for myself being a black woman, like a lot of us, we felt not, we felt like our voices were finally being heard. Here he was, this man standing up and talking about these things that nobody else would, calling out all of these islanders, and I was here for it. Unfortunately, he was not here for it because it was all fake. It was all fake. So me and Murad are talking on Instagram, and we decide that, okay, or I decide I'm gonna go to the pool party and meet him. So I'm super excited. I get home and I start changing, and excitedly I tell my housemate that I'm gonna go to this pool party in Fresno. Now, the funny thing is, he was actually preparing to go to a pool party that same day. So he obviously then asked me, like, okay, where's the location? Maybe I can drop you off since I'm headed in the same direction. And I asked Murad, only to find out that me and my friend Genre were going to the same pool party. So I thought, oh, wow, like, this is convenient. The stars align. So, yeah, I was super excited. I was like, I'm going to go to this pool party. I'm going with my friend, and I'm going to meet this Instagram person. It'll be cool. If I don't like it, I'll just leave. Now, when I told Murad that my friend John Ray's also coming, he mentioned that the people at the party were all white, and it was all men, and they were all like gay guys and stuff, and he wrote there, and I thought this was very interesting. He wrote, "That's not my usual scene, lol." And it was kind of crazy because I was just kind of like, why would you end that with a laugh out loud? You know what I mean? Like, I had assumed he was the type of person that didn't necessarily have any issues against, like gay people or white people or anything like that because of how he presented himself on YouTube. So when I read that message, I was just kind of like, I'm reading too much into it, girl. Go to the party, get some tequila, girl. So I asked my friend about it, and he looked at me and he was like, listen. And let me just say this about my friend. I absolutely love him, and the reason I love him is because he's a realist. He looked at me and he said, I'm not sure you're going to be comfortable at this party because it's going to be very, very white. And I don't want you having like a negative experience there. And I know what he was insinuating. He was insinuating that because, like, I'm black, I'm going to have a racist experience there, or there's going to be some type of experience that's going to happen that will make me feel alienated. But me being naive, thinking like, Genre, you're going to be there, and freaking, I don't know Murad, but I'm going to go see Murad, and he's super, super woke, so I'm assuming the people that he's around are also super, super woke. Come on. 1 + 1 = 2, not 11. So yeah, Genre is like, okay, girl, it's all good. So we jump in the car and we get to Fresno. Immediately when I met Murad, I don't want to say disappointment fell over me like a ton of bricks, but it just overwhelmed me because at no point was he ever what he said he was. It was like I was meeting his twin brother. Because it was so strange. Like, on YouTube, he seemed very, like, obviously politically correct and very, like, I know right from wrong, and I have a strong opinion of what is right and what is wrong. But when I actually met him, he was very, very different. It was very clear that he was, he was that Instagram guy. He was like that Instagram baddie that wants to take the pictures with everyone and talk about, the Instagram life. And I just remember as he talked and he talked and he talked and I listened and I listened and I listened, slowly realizing that I should probably go. Like, I was silly in believing that everyone I see on YouTube or whatnot is the same exact way in real life. And it's funny because as he was talking, the host jumps up and he's all like, are you gonna introduce us to your friend? Or are you gonna like offer her a drink or something? And at which point I start giggling, and the host gets me something to drink and introduces himself. The irony was that, not the irony, but what I found strange was I started picking up after the host started speaking to me that there was this, I don't want to say tension at the party. Now, my first reaction is thinking, oh gosh, like he invited like this black girl to the party, so that's why there's the tension. Like maybe I should go, like I shouldn't really be here. Like I felt very, very uncomfortable. And but I later realized that there were some other things going on between the host and Murad, things that I was not privy to, information that I was not privy to. But I definitely noticed just some tension. And if you're ever in a scene with a lot of white gay guys, you'll notice how catty some of them can be, which is awesome. We love a little cattiness, but as the host was walking away, he sort of said something. He sort of said this like little remark. And I wish I remembered it, but he sort of like insinuated that Murad was basically just mooching off of them. Now, at that time, I just took that completely out of my mind because I don't know these people. I've just met them today, and I'm not really comfortable in the situation anymore. As we're talking, tell me why this guy walks up towards me, this little twink, and he's all like, smiling, looking at Murad, and looking at me, and looking at Murad. And it was in that moment that that this friend of his then takes it upon themselves to misgender me. So I think it's situations like that, when something happens like that and you don't know the person, you're left feeling confused, somewhat embarrassed, and worried about who else is listening. Now, it's at times like that when you have a person who is like me being, I don't know, treated unfairly or misgendered or whatever, what have you. And the person who claims to be the biggest social justice warrior stands in silence. You know what I mean? I don't know, it just leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But anyways, no one should have to defend you. No one should have to come to your defense or run up to you and say like, no, this was wrong what this person said. No one should have to do that. I'm a big kid, I can defend myself. But I thought it was interesting how he would call people out so frequently, and yet he wouldn't call people out in this instance. Anyways, they go off and they take pictures, and I sit on the edge of the pool and I'm thinking, I've been here for like 10 minutes. I want to leave. My friend is clearly having the best time of his life, so I don't want to disrupt his party. How am I going to exit? Thank goodness this older white gay man sat next to me, and he could sort of see like the distress in my face and like how I just really was not in, like how my mood just came down. Like, you should have seen me when I came into the party. I was like jumping up and down, all happy. And then after those few interactions, suddenly I just sunk into myself. I mean, even as I sat down, it was like I was sinking into myself. And this older gay man, he was so friendly, and he just tried to be nice to me, and after talking to him, I felt that I could go. So I Ubered and I left, and I never expected to hear from him ever again. So I was surprised when he sent me messages asking me, the following weekend, like if I wanted to meet up for shisha. And I just remember thinking, you know, I've met this person and it was not a pleasant experience, and the likelihood is that I'm going to see more things that I don't want to see. So I took the decision to unsubscribe. So I unsubscribed for him and I just unfollowed him and stuff. And I just left it at that, because I think at the end of the day, we're not going to pretend that his content wasn't good. We're not going to pretend that the things that he said were not good. It's just the messenger. It's just he didn't believe in what he was saying. He just used them as talking points, which people often do. But I thought it was interesting when all the other information came out. And that's why, like, and the reason I really wanted to make this video was, I think it's important that when we consume any type of media and we sort of take these people's words as though they are true, and we start to form these ideas of who these influencers are, we can be left disappointed. Look, sometimes content creators and YouTube is just for your fun and entertainment. Other times they have a real good and serious message, and sometimes the message is good but the messenger is trash. And unfortunately, and you should never call anyone trash, but after I'd had that interaction with him, I knew that no, this guy's fiction like books. And when all the other things came out, I was like, how much more was this person hiding? And it's funny because no one would come at him like this had he not been so self-righteous. And I think that's where people are offended the most, at how self-righteous he had come across, only to have so many skeletons of his own. And I think it's a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale for all. Like, you need to be what you profess to be at all times. It doesn't matter whether or not it's lucrative. Just have integrity and people won't come after you. Anyways, I've talked for too much and for too long. If y'all want to see those screenshots, girl, I will upload all those screenshots. But anyways, thank you so much. I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. And just remember, when it comes to content creators, you want to like swallow the meat and spit out the bones. And if you did get anything that was good or positive from him, then yeah, great. But just remember, not everybody is what they post to be. Alright, bye.